for taking time out for Q1 FY20 conference call of PPAP Automotive Limited. We have with us today Mr. Abhishek Jain, Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director, and Mr. Anurag Saxena, Chief Financial Officer. We will begin the call with opening remarks by Abhishek sir, and then we will have the question and answer session. I would just like to point out that certain statements in today's call may be forward-looking, and we have already put out a disclaimer to that effect at the end of the presentation. So I would now like to hand over the call to Abhishek sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Gaurav. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. I am Abhishek Jain, CEO and MD of the company. I welcome you all to the conference call to discuss the performance for Q1 financial year 20 of our company, PPAP Automotive Limited. Firstly, I would like to give you a short brief about our company. Then I will talk about the financial performance of the company in the June quarter, and then we can take up questions. I also have with me our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Anurag Saxena, who has recently joined us. Now we shall start with a brief overview of the automotive industry during the quarter under review. During the quarter, the passenger vehicle segment witnessed a production degrowth of 11.97% year-on-year in the quarter under review. A total of 0.9 million passenger vehicles were produced against 1.02 million in the same period last year. The commercial vehicle production growth also fell by 14.47%, whereas the two-wheeler production was at 5.81 million, which witnessed a degrowth of 10.10% compared to the previous year. Our industry is witnessing an unprecedented drop in demand, which has seen an impact on the performance of our company for the quarter under review. As you all know, the liquidity crunch in the market, coupled with increase in insurance premiums and registration rates, has contributed to the reduction in demand. Today, there is confusion in the buyer's mind regarding the treatment and effect of BS4 vehicles post BS6 implementation. There is also confusion regarding implementation of EV vehicles. The overall negative sentiments has resulted in the reduction of demand. Our industry's bodies have represented certain demand-boosting measures to the government, like reduction of GST as well as scrapping policy, etc., but there hasn't been any decision yet. We hope that soon government steps in and takes prudent actions in order to boost the consumer sentiments. Just a small recap of what PPAP is about. We are into manufacturing of polymer extrusion-based automotive sealing systems, interior and exterior injection molded products. With its 7 facilities spread across the key automotive hubs in India, the company manufactures over 1,000 different SKUs and ships over 200,000 parts every day to our customers, which include the Japanese OEMs as well as the other major OEMs in the passenger vehicle segment as well as commercial and two-wheeler segment. The company continues to focusing on enhancing its per car contribution. In 2014, for this purpose, we have established a new joint venture for making rubber parts to increase our per contribution in the passenger vehicle segment. The company is able to attract new opportunities in both sealing systems as well as injection products. Post the establishment of its facilities, which are closer to the customer now, we continue to focus to build on our core competency and on achieving excellence throughout the gambit of our organization. Now I will talk about our financial performance for the quarter ended 30th June 2019. Overall, it was a very challenging quarter, not only for us, but for the overall auto ancillary sector as well as the auto OEMs. In Q1 financial year 20, revenue from operations on a standalone basis stands at 92.05 crores as compared to 99.69 crores, witnessing a degrowth of 7.7% on a year-on-year basis. Out of this revenue, part sales amounted to 88.44 crores, registering a fall of 7.9% from the same quarter last year. Tool sales contributed Rs 2.83 crores and 0.79 crores was the other operating income, which is the subsidy which we receive every quarter from the government of Rajasthan. The company reported an EBITDA of rupees 15.24 crores as against 19.88 crores in the same quarter last year. The EBITDA margin for Q1 financial year 20 stood at 16.6% as compared to 19.9% in the same quarter previous year due to reduced spread of fixed costs, mainly employee costs as well as inventory costs. Profit after tax for Q1 financial year 20 stood at 5.76 crores compared to 8.85 crores previous year, same quarter. The PAT margin stood at 6.3% compared to 8.9%. The EPS for the quarter is at 4.11 rupees per share compared to 6.32 rupees per share in the same quarter last year. The consolidated EPS for Q1 FY20 stood at 4.15 rupees compared to 6.50 rupees in the same period last year. During this phase of demand reduction, we have intensified our focus on reviewing each and every operation of the company, and we are trying our best to make the company leaner in all aspects. I am sure that when the demand returns, we would be able to exhibit a better performance. I am also happy to report to you that we have won the Machinist Super Shop Floor Awards in 2018 in the category of productivity for SME category. This brings me to the end of my opening commentary. Now I would like to leave the floor open for questions and suggestions that you may have. I and Mr. Saxena will try our best to answer all of them. Over to you, Stephen.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. The first question is from the line of Suvarna Joshi from Axis Securities. Please go ahead.
So thank you for the opportunity. Now, I missed the initial part of your commentary. So if you one that request I had, if you could just kind of repeat that was one. And second, while we are hearing that across the OEMs there has been a slowdown and the concerns continue, can you just highlight to us as to how much more pain is going to be there in the system, and how soon do you expect the OEMs to come back? Are you getting any indications from your customers as to is there any sign of demand coming back, because we are just at the start of the festive season from the next month onwards? So that was my second question. And the third question would be on the margin front. Clearly, because of the slowdown, we have seen that impact on our margins as well, and we have probably come to the 16.6 kind of a level as against the earlier 20% kind of range. So what are your expectations? How do you intend to manage this particular year in terms of the margin as well? So some thoughts on that could be really helpful.
Thank you, Suvarnaji. So first, what do you want to hear again?
Sir, you mentioned about the industry in terms of the passenger vehicle production units and normally which you give those numbers.
So what we basically said that the passenger vehicle segment basically had a degrowth of about 11.97%, and 0.9 million passenger vehicles were produced against 1.02 million in the same period last year.
Sure.
And commercial vehicle production fell by 14.47%, and two-wheeler production was reduced by 10.10%. So these are the basic statistics what we have learned from the first quarter.
Yes.
For your second question, how much more? Sorry?
Yeah, that is pretty helpful on sharing the statistics.
And your second question, how much more pain? We just hope that there's no, the pain goes away quickly. And right now we're not, none of the customers have indicated that they're going to increase their production by a whole lot. September, since the festive season is going to start, we should see an upside in the vehicle sales, but the inventory which is being created in this downturn by the OEMs, I think first focus will be to push that inventory out to all the consumers. So when it comes to production of vehicles, we may have to wait a little longer, and this pain basically can go away much faster if the government steps in and takes prudent actions, especially like reduction of GST or having some scrappage policy, and even reducing this insurance amount, which now if anyone who's buying a vehicle has to buy 3 years of insurance in the beginning. So it's costing the consumer almost 3 times the money which he used to pay earlier. So all these things, so we are basically hoping that the government steps in and takes some prudent actions to basically boost the sentiments of people, and that would really drive the demand going forward. For us, our EBITDA margin being reduced from 19% to 16.6%, so that effect has primarily come due to, if you see the detailed presentation that we have shared with you, so if you see in numbers, in pure numbers, our expenses have either remained same or they have become better. But in percentage terms, we've not been able to maintain the margins.
Sure.
Primarily, it's due to the fixed cost which is there, and as I said in the commentary also. So now we've started reviewing all the aspects of operations in the company again very intensely, and we are trying to further find ways of reducing all the waste that is there in the system, trying to find out new ways of improving our bottom line. So for example, when you look at material cost, so we are looking at all that material cost, what is landed cost to us, what is ex-works price for our suppliers, if transportation cost can be merged, clubbed into one, or some benefit can come from there. Consumption side, we are looking at what kind of design wastages are there in the system, if those can be improved. Employee side, we are also doing rationalization of people, doing analysis of what each and every person is doing in the company. So there are a whole lot of measures which we are trying to reevaluate and trying to find ways of doing them in a better way going forward.
Right.
So we are quite hopeful that once all these countermeasures are taken by us, when the demand comes, we should be in a position to exhibit either the same performance as what we've shown before, or maybe an even better performance than before.
Right, sir. So then if you could just highlight on this new launch, the Glanza, and you've also mentioned some Suzuki Motor Gixxer. So how is it that the new part sales have contributed to the total revenues? Because typically we have been sharing about new part sales contribution, the newer ones that contribute to our revenue. So if you could just highlight something on that front as well.
In this quarter, we did not have any new model, any major new model launches. So Glanza, what has been launched is basically it's basically made by SMG in Gujarat and rebranded as Toyota Glanza.
Okay.
So for this, production started last quarter itself. So
Okay.
this quarter, we've not seen any new model contribution in our sales.
Okay. All right, sir. And sir, any update on the partnership with Hyundai Motors? Because we were already we have started supplying some parts to them, and MG Hector also. We read from news reports that the bookings for 2019 have been fully over. So, what is the response you are getting from the new customers person?
We've already got business for MG Hector, and now we have started discussing for future projects as well. And I think MG has got a good response. I think 1 year inventory has already been booked. 1 year production volume has completely been booked. With Hyundai also, it's the same status as we spoke about last time. So we are continuously developing parts for them, and we are in touch with them for new business as well.
All right, fine. So that's it from mine for now. If I have any further questions, I will come back in the queue. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Nandita Relia from Prabhudas Leeladhar. Please go ahead. Nandita, your line is in talk mode. Kindly go ahead with your question.
Okay. Hi, thanks for the opportunity. Could you please give the segmental revenue breakup?
Sorry?
Could you please give the segmental revenue breakup? As in, you had given it earlier, but I missed a part of it.
So, out of the 92.05 crores, 88.44 crores is part sales, and 2.83 crores is tool sales, and 0.79 crores is other operating income, which is the subsidy received from the Rajasthan government every quarter.
Okay. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Mitul Shah from Reliance Securities. Please go ahead.
So can you give some details on new products and what is the plan for increasing the revenues from the molding side, molded products?
Sorry, I did not understand your question. Hello? Hello?
Mr. Shah, your line is in talk mode. Kindly go ahead with your question. Mr. Shah? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. You may go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Shah, you can ask your question.
Yeah, I asked that, can you give some detail on the new products on the molding side?
No, new products meaning what, sir? What do you want to know?
In last discussion, we expressed that we want to increase the revenue from the molded parts.
Yes.
So any development on the new product or addition into the product pipeline with the existing customer on the molded side?
So, like we've explained, this Gujarat facility and Pathredi facility, so after launching these two facilities, we are getting a lot of inquiries from Maruti and SMG regarding molding components. Earlier, our basic business for molding parts was with Honda. So, I can give you one example of a new product that we've launched from Gujarat plant. This is basically the front grille of the new Baleno as well as this Toyota Glanza. So those are some new products that we've launched from that plant. From Pathredi plant, we will be starting interior components like center console for Maruti and maybe parts like cowl top. So we're getting all these parts from customers now for our molding.
And can you give some details on our indirect export side? How is it ramping up, or through existing customer we export, right? We give it to the domestic player and then they export it to their counterparts in a global.
Yes.
So how that is ramping up? Or those businesses also in a downturn?
The downturn, it is stable because that doesn't depend on the market of Indian market. So those supplies are still going on, and basically our Chennai plant is busy in catering to those demands. And with Nissan, it is going on, and Renault also. Now we have started supplying to Brazil. Now Renault is they are making some strategy for exporting these same parts to Russia also, but that is still not confirmed when it will going to start. And for Toyota, we are already exporting to all the South American countries. So that business is quite stable.
And thank you, sir. My last question is on any major strategic change considering the current slowdown. Any change in the business strategy or capacity expansion side or on the new launches?
From the customer side, we've not received any information yet about any model being delayed or discontinued or stopped or anything. So what we are doing is we are internal, if there was any money to be spent on internal capacity expansion or investment, that we are reviewing every day, and that we are taking a prudent action of whether to go ahead or not. But in case that any investment is linked to a customer project, that we are not that we are going ahead with. So that is the basic policy which we are adopting for investments in this period. That for any customer linked project which has a customer deadline, that we are going ahead with. But in case any capex was required for internal purpose, that we are reviewing, and in case it is absolutely required and it gives an immediate ROI of less than 1 year, that we are implementing. But long-term improvement projects we are not implementing right now.
Sorry, sir, to interrupt, but the line for the current participant is disconnected. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Pankaj Bobade from Axis Securities. Please go ahead.
Taking my question, sir, just wanted to understand, given the presence we have with the OEMs, where do we see our company going forward, maybe 2-3 years down the line, as and when the fortunes of auto industries revive?
See, Pankaj, in past also we've always commented that we will be growing faster than the
industry.
Our growth rate will be faster than the industry growth rate. So that is what we will basically continue to focus on.
So do we want to limit ourselves to these three product lines, I mean plastic extrusion, rubber and injection molding, or would you like to invest into any more verticals?
Look, we are evaluating a couple of more options of what we have to do, but basically it has to be in sync with what our current competence is.
Okay, and any plans for exports? Currently, as we are...
Not direct exports, but we are discussing with Nissan Japan and Renault, like I just said, for Russia business. So those things are in pipeline.
So by when can we see the real fruits of the developments which you are planning out?
We are engaging in dialogues with them right now. They've not come up with any concrete plan of a new model or something which we'll have an opportunity. So currently we don't have anything in pipeline except for Nissan Russia, for the Renault Russia export.
Okay. And lastly, what is the current capacity utilization?
Utilization would be somewhat in the range of 65 to 70%.
Okay. So in case the auto sector revives, when would you like to see, when do you see that our capacity is utilized completely and we need to expand our capacities?
Oh, sorry, I didn't understand that question.
No, I mean to say, currently we are 65-70% utilized. So, in future, if the fortunes of auto industries revives, so by when do you see our capacity utilized to optimum level, and we have to look out for a fresh capex?
See, originally this year was supposed to be the volumes were supposed to increase by almost 10 to 12%. But instead of increasing to 10 to 12%, we are witnessing a decrease of 10 to 15%.
Okay.
So that kind of capacity is already available in the company. So if like from a downside of 15%, market goes up to, we'll have a room of about 30% to increase right now, in case the volume comes back without investing in additional capacities.
Okay, and that an optimum capacity utilization would take our revenues to, now we are at around a run rate of nearly 380-400 odd crores, right?
Yeah, I think that you can interpolate very easily.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Rumil Jain from Systematic Shares. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Just wanted to understand how is the content, per vehicle, how that is looking over the next 2-3 years. So, what is the strategy from your side to increase the content per vehicle?
So, to increase the content per vehicle, so initially, if you look at our product range, so PPAP was primarily into plastic sealing system.
Yeah.
So that was about 1100 rupees per car. Then we added this joint venture PTI. So that is additional 1400 rupees, around 1400 to 2000 rupees per car.
Okay.
And along with this, we were focusing on development of injection products, primarily for Honda.
Okay.
So for Honda, these injection products, what we do, they are about almost 4,000 to 4,500 rupees per car.
Okay.
But because we were not present close to Maruti facility, we did not have much business about injection molding with them. That ranged to about 250 or 300 rupees per car with one or two different products. So for increasing this per car business, so now we are focusing on developing more injection molding products for Maruti as well as for SMG.
Okay. So for Maruti and SMG, we have started getting incremental orders for the injection molding, right?
Yes.
Okay. And secondly, on the content addition on the sealing systems that you mentioned from 1100 to 2000, how much of this, how much portion of our revenues would be now in the 1400 bracket? So just wanted to understand how much is still left, to increase in terms of content.
See, for plastic sealing system, we already have a lion's market share when it comes to our existing products.
Right.
So for that, our simple strategy is to get into new customers like Hyundai, and like I told you in the previous conference call also, we've started doing business with Volkswagen and other customers. So we have to add more customers to that kind of business. For the joint venture, we are still in a very nascent stage. It's only been 3-4 years since we've started it. So we are present only in Maruti and Honda. That also, I think, about 20% of their total volume. So there's a huge scope there as well for us to grow. And injection molding area, you are already aware, we've got a very low market share right now in Maruti. Right. And the headroom is quite large. Okay. So there's a lot of scope and a lot of opportunities for injection molding products when it comes to Maruti and SMG.
Okay. Okay, sir. Got it, sir. Thanks. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 at this time. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1. As there are no further questions, I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you, Stephen.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. We have one participant in the queue. Can I promote him?
Sure.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mitul Shah from Reliance Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks once again for taking my question. Sir, I have a question on the non-auto side. Non-auto side.
Non-auto?
Yeah, so any plan to increase the non-auto revenue in terms of diversification, as auto is a cyclical and now it is going under cyclical downturn. So any scope for molded parts for non-auto space?
We had evaluated non-auto side about 1 year back, but the investment and the returns were not lucrative at all. And PPAP, basically, we don't want to do any commodity business at all.
Yeah, on the engineering side, I'm asking.
Top line and doesn't add anything to the bottom line.
Yeah, on the engineering side.
Sorry?
On the engineering side, non-auto engineering business for plastics.
Engineering business for plastics? Sir, I didn't understand what you're trying to say.
Plastic components used in the engineering machineries and engineering parts, which are not considered as a commodity, where the margins are also high, and the plastics used is also specialty plastics.
We've never focused on all these parts.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1. As there are no further questions, I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
So thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Gaurav, for organizing this conference call. I would like to pay my sincere gratitude to all my analyst and investor friends who have taken time out of their busy schedules to listen to us today. These are challenging times and a lot of uncertainty and disruption is expected, but I'm sure by the efforts that we are doing, we'll come out with flying colors. Please feel free to contact Concept or our company in case you have any further questions. If you happen to be in the NCR region, do give us an opportunity for you to show around our world-class operations. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of this conference call. If you need any further information or clarification, please email at gaurav.g, that is gaurav.g @conceptpr.com, or Irfan, that is IRFAN @conceptpr.com. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today.